it's winter and progress has been slower than usual due to my garage doubling as a freezer and also unforeseen circumstances. Anyways, we still have some progress, so this video will be about the frame and the frame modifications to get the new seat on. Yeah, so enjoy. So the frame is in a pretty bad condition. You can see here that there is pretty much rusted all over. So I ended up taking that to a shop where they could sandblast it professionally. Now after sandblasting, the surface was pretty rough, but I decided to just go with it and paint over this, which in the end, I mean, it worked out fine. I think it looks good. So here I'm coating it with a zinc primer to just preserve the sandblasting, because I wasn't gonna work on this, immediately. So, and here you can see I'm using a flashlight that I learned from a previous video where that the lighting was just not good enough to paint. So already it's looking much nicer than it was, but there's a lot of work left here. So in order to make the frame hoop and attach that, I came up with the idea of using 2 bolts inserted into the frame so that I could sort of slide the back end of the frame onto those and weld that together. So as you can see here, I'm just taking off the bolt heads and then I'll be inserting those into the frame and welding them up. So here you can see the bolts, they fit almost perfectly, but not quite. So I need to weld them in place before I can put the frame hoop on. Now this is the frame hoop. It's bought from AliExpress. It's got the light inside of it, which is one of the reasons why I didn't end up with powder coating the frame. The frame hoop is also too big, so I need to measure it up and cut it. There's no exact signs to this as far as I know, so I've just been using my eyes and measuring as good as I can. So the plan here is to punch or drill a hole in the frame here, as you can see, and then weld the bolts through that hole, basically. The difficult part here is that I could only really weld very short amounts at one time, because I didn't want to melt the electronics inside. So I was pretty worried about, destroying the light and the wires and everything inside with the welding like right next to it. So I took my time and welded a little bit at a time. And this is my first time really welding anything, so I'm happy with it, but it's certainly not perfect. So the next task would be to create some sort of fasteners or some way to attach the seat to the frame. And as you can see here, this is this is what I came up with. It basically just tucks underneath here with the front, and then the back will be attached with some screws to those angled iron things. It's a very simple system, but I hope it will work. And again, I'm basically welding on top of the light inside, so pretty sketchy. So the frame is finally done. You can see the surface here. It ended up matte black. I don't know if I used the wrong clear coat or something, or it could have been just the surface because it was pretty rough before I started painting. But you know, I'm really happy with it. It looks good at close up and far away anyways. So that's it for this video, and I will see you in the next one.